Okay, welcome back. So, how did you do? Did you love that podcast by Dr. Mark Hyman? As I said, he has been one of my absolute go to mentors for all things health and wellness over the last 5 or 6 years. And he's who's contributed to so much of my knowledge and passion behind I Know Wellness. So, also, did you manage to get a good snapshot of your 3 day food intake and as well your sleep schedule? Were you surprised by any of the results? We will get further into your food choices and your sleep habits as we move through this course. But for right now, let's talk about the podcast I recommended you listen to. So, as you have listened in the podcast or chose to read in the show notes attached, you have learned that the epidemic of chronic disease globally is clearly linked to our inflammatory diet choices. As well, we have learned that the increase in brain disorders like depression and autism, ADD and Alzheimer's, as well as metabolic diseases like diabetes and heart disease, are also all related to inflammation. And this is truly the common denominator. As Dr. Mayer states in his most recent book that is being recognized in the medical literature, not just on the fringe of that literature anymore, it's the microbiome, the ecosystem of the gut that is connected to almost every single disease. He states that the gut is the immune system. It is also the endocrine system. It is the nervous system. And how these systems dynamically interact literally determines the quality of your health. So, it seems safe to state that supporting the gut microbiome by reducing inflammation through environmental factors is a sure way to starting to feel better and increasing our overall quality of health and longevity. So, how do we reduce inflammation? I'm going to share a personal example with you about an anti inflammatory nutrition protocol that I have chosen to take on and live by, and how you can get started. So, years ago, when I was finally feeling at my wits' end with all of the symptoms that I was incurring. So, I had shared with you a little bit about how I was experiencing and processing stress in my late 20s and my early 30s through my corporate career. I then met my now husband and started a side business alongside my corporate career. And when we decided the time was right, we thought we would start trying to have a family. And, much to my lack of knowledge and how my lifestyle in the past may or could have contributed to my challenges in conceiving, I started to realize that a lot of the choices I had made in my life were actually a direct impact on my ability to conceive naturally. And at that time, I was working in health and wellness with a company, and I had already started to learn the fringe of the impact of lifestyle and food choices. And so I couldn't unwind what I had done over, the 30 years preceding my desire to become a mom, but I could take action now. And so it was through that process, which is obviously near and dear to mine and my husband's heart, that we started to realize we needed to make some lifestyle changes. And so inflammation in the body can occur in so many different ways, and there can be so many different symptoms that each person experiences differently. My endocrine system, my hormone system was absolutely disrupted by inflammation. And that was caused by lifestyle and food choices I'd made over the years. I also was diagnosed at the age of 42, I think I was. My daughter wasn't quite 2 yet. So I was 40 when I had her. So we did conceive successfully finally. We did need to use scientific intervention. And I'm a big proponent of medical intervention when needed. But around her 18-month birthday, I was experiencing very, very high levels of stress. And I ended up going to see a naturopath whom I still see today, and I absolutely adore him. And he walked me through a whole series of questions and how I handle things and manage stress and, what was going on in my life. And one of the main physical symptoms that I was having was that for my whole life, I had had a very flaky scalp, but it was never diagnosed as anything that I could do anything about. Way back in my teens, I had a doctor diagnose it as seborrheic dermatitis, and it was something that, would come and it would go, it would come and it would go, but nobody related it to stress and nobody related it to inflammation in the body. And so finally, this brilliant naturopath told me that it was actually psoriasis. And psoriasis is an autoimmune disease, and some people have plaque psoriasis, which is, buildup of skin cells all over the body in different patches. I fortunately have it contained to one area, which is in the very back section of my scalp, and it was getting very, very uncomfortable. And so I thought, well, I've seen the medical doctors, it hasn't made a difference. I'll go to the naturopath and see what he has to say. Not only did he give me a proper diagnosis, but he talked to me about why it got so bad. And the reason why it got so bad was my stress levels were so high. I was a new mom. I was trying to learn everything there was to learn. I was trying to run a business. My husband and I had made a move out of country for business purposes. And it was all just very, very stressful. My daughter was also experiencing some digestive issues at the time. And there were some scary times to the emergency clinic with her. And so life was stressful. And when you're stressed, you have an increase in hormones that turn the immune system on to be aware and be on guard to fight any bad bugs that might be entering. And so in my case, with chronic stress over time, that actually turned on my autoimmune disease, which is psoriasis. And so the beautiful thing is I know what it is. I know what causes it. I know what are good lifestyle choices to choose, good anti-inflammatory food protocols, which I'm going to talk to you about, to live by on an 80-20 basis. That's my rule of thumb. Nobody's perfect. Nobody does anything 100% of the time. And so as long as you can do it 80-20, we're good. We're going to see some progress. And so I started to take this anti-inflammatory protocol on, and I used supplements that he recommended, and I tried other supplements that I've researched that I'm, using today that I absolutely love, and I'll link in our resources for you to check out. But reducing inflammation in lifestyle factors, getting good sleep, doing an anti-inflammatory protocol with food, exercising regularly, reducing stress through meditation, mindfulness practices, all the things, has me be in control of my body and my symptoms. And that's what I want for you. So now that you've heard my personal example, you may be thinking, oh my gosh, I have this, and maybe that's caused by inflammation, or I'm experiencing this, and that's caused by inflammation. And so I want to now introduce you to the anti-inflammatory protocol that I have here to share with you. So now I want to share with you the anti-inflammatory protocol that I have available for you to download and follow for a period of time that you choose. I'm a big proponent of people choosing, having the freedom to choose. And although I would recommend a minimum of 30 days, upwards of 90 days for an anti-inflammatory protocol to really start healing the systems in your body, specifically your gut, I'm going to leave it up to you to decide. So, download and print out the anti-inflammatory protocol guide attached and decide what is the time frame that you're committing to. Is it 10 days? Is it 14 days? Is it 21 days? Is it 30 days or is it longer? And you're going to get the grocery list. You're going to read through it. You may have to do a cupboard clean out, get rid of a lot of that processed food, some of those, desirable treats that might have you wanting to cheat. And you're going to choose to follow this anti inflammatory protocol. And you're going to enter every day in your journal here attached in the journey how you're doing, like, are you failing? Are you having to start back at day one again? Do you need some extra support? All the things. And we're going to have you contribute to the community of people who are also on this journey with you so that you can get support from them. You can, put into the community notes what it is you might be struggling with. And I'll be checking in on those notes and I can reach out and speak to you on what it is you might be struggling with. Maybe you're looking for some additional recipes. You don't like all of the choices that are in the anti-inflammatory guide, and whatever it is that you need to have some success in this, I will be here to help you. So enter in the journal notes here in the journey how you're doing every day and let me know how many days you're committing to. Okay. Thank you for being here. I look forward to getting all the feedback and seeing where I can be of assistance to you. And it is my absolute pleasure and joy to be on this journey of wellness with you. Congratulations and welcome to the end of your chosen protocol time. Some of you have completed 10 days, some of you have completed more than 90 days. And I'm just so freaking excited for you. I have loved your feedback. I have loved being able to interact with some of you and support you along the way. And I know that you're feeling better. I can feel it. I've read about it. You've shared with me, and I'm just absolutely so thrilled. So, I want to explain to you what's next and how to live inside a, more flexible anti inflammatory food protocol. And I would say that you want to be, you know, the majority of the time at around 80/20. So maybe you're having a big cheat meal on the weekend, and maybe you're having a glass of wine, or maybe you're having a weekend away with the girls or the guys. However, it is for you, live your life. But use the guideline of 80/20 to try and keep your body as free from inflammation and as healed as possible. And if you find that you have fallen off the wagon completely, you can always circle back and get started again. So, for more information on healthy living habits outside of what I've provided you in the last few courses that you've gone through, you can also visit some of the other experts and their journeys on the platform. And I would recommend checking out Lorraine Sutton, who is a beautiful holistic nutritionist, personal trainer, entrepreneur, wonderful woman. I would also recommend highly that you're probably now prepared to head over to our functional medicine practitioner, Josh Gitalis, who has a very, very intense deep dive on a functional reset program. And Jessica Caruth is also another integrative wellness practitioner and really focuses on some of our human design and how we're made up and how that also comes to how we feel and how we should live our life and what choices we should make around a diet and lifestyle. I want to let you know that the next level that I will be offering that you can step into is all about healthy sleep habits and how to get good quality sleep, and how good quality sleep can also help in reducing inflammation, which will in turn increase your overall feeling of optimal wellness. So thank you so much for participating in, all of these courses up until now. I can't wait to continue to help share with you and educate you on all of the different ways that you can keep reducing inflammation, keep healing your gut, keep the static out of that brain and gut connection so that we have great communication between our brain and our gut, and we feel good, and we, live a happy life, and we live longer, younger. So thank you for joining me on this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson on quality sleep habits.